sticky ID list here. Everything is pretty logically laid out. Here are little characters here, the P's, and here's their object ID numbers. Now, some people really don't like how this looks when you render. I'm just going to render this real quick. If you take a look, you can't really see it until you bring up the exposure, but there's a logic. Everything is labeled from 1, and then it just goes up by integers. So it makes sense. However, if you want this to be a little bit more intuitive, what you can do is unmap your scene there, and then go to assign random sticky IDs when mapping, and then you can map it again. And now when you render, your colors are going to be completely random. So it'll be a little bit easier to see and navigate and work with. I still would prefer not using this feature. However, some people like it, so there you go. But let's take a look at another thing we can do with the IDs. I'm just going to revert this back. We have this ID override tag. So let's say, so this is useful when your mapping has changed and you have to remap and you screwed something up and you say, all right, add sticky ID override tag. It should just be number 1. But also, if you want to paint any of these, 2 of them at the same time, you can just give them the same ID. So for example, this one right here, I'll go to add sticky ID override tag, and I'll just say we'll use yellow. All right, so 255, 255, 0. And then I'll go to this one. You could copy and paste the tag too, but I'm just going to do this. 255, 255, 0. Now when I render this out, take a look. These have the same ID. So anyway, when I go into After Effects with that, I'm just going to reload that quickly. Now, when I paint, let me just grab a little paint splatter brush. I'll paint here, and this is going to stick independently of, I'll source my sticky ID pass, and then I'll put some paint on this. You'll notice that this is going to paint individually. This is the only object in the scene with that color. Right? If we take a look there, I'll just boost the exposure so you can see it a little bit. However, if we go back here, and then I paint on this, I'll use a different color for example's sake. Now these 2 are going to share the same paint because they have the same ID. So this can be pretty powerful if you use it correctly.